Hello students and parents, welcome to B.Tech 360. Every year, lakhs of students chase a rank, but very few truly understand what that rank can actually get them. In this series, we go beyond the headlines into branch-wise cutoffs to decode the real story of India's top engineering institutions, the IITs, NITs and IITs. We break down branch-wise cutoffs across categories and match them with real placement outcomes in those branches, so that you know where you can get in, but also where you can also grow. This is not about chasing brand name. This is about making data-driven, future-ready choices. If you're serious about engineering, this series could change your entire admission strategy. So what we'll talk now is about chemical engineering offered in NITs. And before I move any further, please subscribe to B.Tech 360 if you've not already done that. Show us your support so that we can continue to do the kind of work that we do to present data to you so that you can actually take the most informed decision. Now, we're talking of NITs and chemical engineering, right? Obviously, earlier we were talking of IITs, IITs and NITs, but IITs obviously doesn't offer chemical engineering. It's a core engineering branch. So we'll only deal with NITs at this point in time. And how does the chemical engineering branch perform in NITs? That's the question that we're trying to address, right? To begin with, what does it take to get into any of the NITs chemical engineering branch, right? If we look at that, in the open category, in NIT Tiruchirappalli, 11,935 rank will get you the last closing rank. What are we talking of? NIT Chemical Engineering maximum closing rank outside home state. It's not home state, it's outside the home state. And we're talking about the JEE Main rank. Right, just be very clear about that. So 11,935 open category, you get NIT Trichy. Surathkal is 13,477. Warangal is 17,585. Roorkela is 18,034. MNNIT is 22,469. And MNIT Jaipur is 25,442. At a category level, EWS category rank, 2002 will get you NIT Trichy. Surathkal you'll get for 2028. NIT Warangal you'll get for 2,952. So Roorkela you'll get for 3,008. MNIT Allahabad is 3,261 and MNIT Jaipur is 4,006. At OBC NCL level, 5,416 you'll get NIT Trichy, 5,623 you'll get NIT Surathkal, NIT Warangal you'll get for 6,488, NIT Roorkela you'll get for 6,935, MNIT Allahabad you'll get for 8,317 closing rank. Category rank, again I'm saying this is OBC NCL category rank, right? MNIT Jaipur is 9,129. For SC category rank 2663 will get you NIT Trichy, 3020 will get you NIT Surathkal, NIT Warangal you'll get for 3781, NIT Roorkela you'll get for 3815, MNIT Allahabad you'll get for 4332, MNIT Jaipur you'll get for 5172. Again, for ST category rank, 896 you'll get NIT Trichy, 1350 you'll get Surathkal, Warangal you'll get for 1564, Roorkela you'll get for 955, 2120 for MNIT Allahabad and 2681 for MNIT Jaipur. So this is what we have. Remember, in this now what we did was we talked of gender male and disability not applicable is what we said, because we wanted to create a linear path for you to understand at what is the maximum closing rank at which you will get into this whole thing. So we essentially removed any extranumerary or any categories beyond what we discussed here. If you want also that data, we've published a comprehensive guide. Go to our website, click on the link below, register yourself, and you can actually download that comprehensive guidebook on NITs. Moving further, NIT Calicut 26,282 you'll get chemical engineering, Nagpur 30,416, Durgapur 33,937, MANIT Bhopal 35,814, SVNIT Surat 36,111 and NIT Jalandhar 39,490. Right, and you also have EWS category, OBC, NCL, SC, and you can actually take a screenshot of this picture and go through it. You'll exactly understand at a category rank level for chemical engineering what rank you need to get into chemical engineering. This is last year's data. Open category you already have it, and you also have the category rank across the board. This again, I repeat, non-home state. Now the other ones is NIT Hamirpur 40,460, Raipur 40,986. NIT Andhra Pradesh 45,191, Agartala 50,902 and Srinagar 55,299. That's a rank. And again, you also have the category ranks across the board. So the highest closing rank that you will need to have to get into any of the NITs for chemical engineering is 55,299 at the open category level. Now, this last year's data. What will happen this year is slightly 5-10% up and up, or it can go either way. But this is broadly what is indicative for you, right? And at EWS level, 7,882 you will get a rank. At OBC NCL level, 17,681 will get you a rank. At for SC, 8,583 will get you a rank. And for ST, 3,325, you might get into one of those NITs for chemical engineering. Now, how are the placements about these things? Of course, we talked of cutoffs and all these things. How are the placement? How are the NITs performing in terms of placement? This is something that is very important. So we'll talk about that also, right? We got data from 6 NITs as far as placement for at a branch level for NIT for chemical engineering is concerned. In fact, we got 14 institutions, including 8 IITs, for which we actually got branch-wise placement data for chemical engineering. Now, there might be more institutions that are offering chemical engineering. Of course, we've seen that only in the NIT data. But what we got data is only from 6 institutions, which actually gave us a branch-wise placement data also. When we look at that data, in all, 514 was the approved intake in 21-22, which passed out in 24-25. Remember, so that's the thing that we're talking about. And students who registered for this placement when after the intake was 427 students. So you actually what you have is about between these two, you actually have about 87 students not registering for placement. This is a big question mark for me. Why did 87 students did not register for placement? That surprises me always. And again, here also I see the same thing, that about 87 students did not even register for placement. Now from the 427, 327 students got a job. And NITs obviously claim about 76% kind of a placement rate. But when you look at it from the student intake side, the placement is 63.62% or 64%. That's what it is. Now in IITs it is much lower, 60%, and here it's 77.13%, right? But when you come to the average CTC, this is the average of the median CTC. 14.58 lakhs is for the IITs across 8 IITs for which we got data. And for NITs, across all 6 NITs for which we got data, it's 9.46 lakh rupees. So very clearly you can see that between an IIT and NIT, we've seen that in the CSE also, there is almost a 50% drop in the kind of salary that you're likely to get at a median salary level between an IIT and NIT at an average level. Now, if you were to compare the bottom half of IITs versus the top half of NITs, for sure it will be same. So it also depends on the institution also, be very clear about that. But having said that, at a broader level, when you look at it, the salary difference between an IIT and an NIT is that if IITians get about 100, these guys will get about 60. That's what it looks like, 60, 65 kind of a number. That's what it looks like here also, right? Now, across all the IITs and NITs for which 14 institutions we have data, 8 plus 6, the average salary comes down to 12.02 and the placement percentage comes to 62%. So if you remember what I told you earlier, in CSE when you looked at it, we actually had something like 88% of kind of a placement and 20 lakh being the average salary across all the IITs and NITs and IITs for which we had data. That's about 23 institutions all put together. In this particular case, if you look at it, it's about 12 lakh rupees. So the chemical engineering as a branch underperforms in terms of placement about 25-30%, placement percentage in terms of 25-30%. And more importantly, in terms of the average salary, it falls to by about 40%. So that seems to be the report card here, that student outcomes from chemical engineering, if your outcome that you're desiring or wanting is only the placement, right? You be prepared for about 25-30% lesser in terms of placement percentage in the numbers. So the chances that you'll get placed in any company is 30% lesser than when it is a CSE branch. And the salary that you'll get is about 40% lesser than what it would be if it were to be a CSE branch, which is the best branch around. And that is something that you need to be prepared about. See, I'm not for one moment suggesting that you must go for CSE or not for chemical or anything. That's not my call here. I'm just looking at what kind of outcome does a student want and what they should they do if they want that kind of an outcome. If of course you want to get into chemical engineering because you're very, very interested in that space, you must go ahead really do that, because that will anyway, if you're very interested in a space, you'll obviously succeed because you're very interested. So to that extent, you'll perform better, you'll commit yourself better, and you'll put in a lot of effort to make it happen because you're interested in that space, right? But if your outcome that you're looking for is only placements, right, then if you're in a chemical engineering branch, you have 30% less chances of getting placed as compared to CSE. And your salary, assuming you're getting placed also, your salary would be about 40% lesser than what it would be if it was a CSE. I hope this helps. If you want me to cover any other branch, please write to me in the message box here. I'll be happy to cover that. Thank you so much. Namaste. And please subscribe to B.Tech 360.